We got an NBA topic we got to get to. Bo, tell us about MenuRx, though, before we talk a little NBA and second apron restrictions.
MenuRx is great, not just for weight loss, but also if you just want to get in better shape. You know, there's so much noise out there. You can be on Instagram, you could be on Twitter, and you'll have 15 different people telling you, oh, I did this, and you got these random people. They're not scientists, they're not doctors, and they're giving you advice on how you should eat. You can't trust these people. Don't just trust some random dude on the internet that claims he got in good shape by doing what might. And even if it worked for that person, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. All of us have different bodies, different chemistry, different metabolism. Get your own plan from people that are actually qualified to help you. Nutritionists, doctors, scientists. So if you, when you or someone you know has followed a trendy diet or a fitness plan that's flopped, we've all been there, even though it worked for others, MenuRx cuts through all that trial and error. They use metabolic testing to show how your body, not somebody else's, but your body specifically responds to different foods and workouts. So you stop guessing and start seeing real results. Visit menu-rx.com today to schedule your consultation and experience what metabolic testing can do for your performance, body composition, and long-term health. And right now, when you sign up for a MenuRx plan, you'll get a free year-long UCSS subscription. You become a member, the cost of $60, absolutely free. That's menu-rx.com. You see it right there on the screen. Stop guessing, start unlocking your full potential with MenuRx.
Awesome. Thank you, Bo. We got one NBA topic to get to today, and it is more big picture than it is Cavs specific. But when we look at how the Cavs have to operate this offseason, we've talked at length about the second apron restrictions, the new CBA, all of that. I'm curious in your guys' opinion, and Tyvis, we'll start with you. Is the CBA the NBA is currently operating under a good thing for the league or a bad thing for the league?
Depends on how you look at it, because Jason talks about it all the time. It gives, I guess it makes it fair for other teams, but now you get things like possibly OKC versus Indiana and stuff like that, where you only got like, what, 2 superstars in that? So it takes the superstardom, guys going to team up in this 3 or 4 big name guys that you want to see, like they take that out, which I guess it makes it fair, but it's boring. It kind of makes it a little boring. So it's bad because people want to see superstars, all these superstars go at it. And I think when you have like this CBA, it limits what you can and cannot do. And a lot of the times you can't build those big superstar teams anymore to go against each other in the finals. Because although the Cavs only won one time against the Warriors, it was good to see that star power, the Kyrie, LeBron versus Steph, Clay, Draymond, Kevin Durant. Like, we're not going to see that no more because you can't really do that anymore.
What is this all about? This is sort of. I'm just following along here. I mean, I like this, the NBA's Final Four right now. I mean, I like the fact that we got new blood, but you guys are confusing me a little bit there.
So you know how
it's harder to build this. You can't really build a super team now
pretty
because
much.
once you're in the second apron,
right?
You're much more restricted than you
NBA
used to be.
CBA is the most difficult thing to follow in the world.
It is.
It's a fact.
It's so confusing.
It's impossible.
Mike and Jason told us for 2 months the Cavs couldn't trade for Giannis. Now apparently there's a slim way they could. Obviously it's not.
I mean, I saw that clip and I was like excited about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
and Mike's like, nah, you can't do it.
But I guess there is a possibility, but it's so unlikely.
Yeah.
It is very confusing. I am torn. It's like, it's almost like it's a great system, even though it's confusing, for the wrong sport. Because in theory, I like the fact that you can't build super teams. I think it's funny because this system should benefit the smaller market teams, if you will, like Cleveland. Now, in this case, it's hurting. It's going to hurt the Cavs potentially, but it prevents a bunch of players from teaming up and going to the sexy markets, of which, unfortunately, we are not.
But it was still fun and exciting to see your team potentially take down that superstar team. Like, you still
Maybe you find that. I don't know how the majority of fans feel, Tyvis. if you're an Indiana Pacers,
I put a poll up, so I'll let you know what our fans say.
But, we had the benefit of having LeBron. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to have that super team, if you want to call it that. Because there's nobody coming to Cleveland to put together a super team. It's just not going to happen. And the way the Cavs have been put together is pretty organic. I mean, obviously they traded for Donovan.
Yeah, the rest
and
of
they
them
did trade for Jared Allen. And they traded for Hunter. But Darius, obviously, and Evan are two guys they drafted. Otherwise, they wouldn't have. If they hadn't drafted those guys, they wouldn't have been good enough. They wouldn't have traded for Donovan.
If that's the case, that's the same thing. Golden State did.
I will say this. I like balance in sports. But ratings will tell you that the big names and the big markets often are better for ratings. For all the complaints.
So it's a bad thing.
When it comes to baseball, for all the complaints about the Yankees do better ratings.
No, they didn't. The WNBA just outrated them. Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky's had more viewers than Mets versus Yankees.
On ESPN?
Yeah, that is true.
What did the Indiana...
That's not that surprising. I mean, Caitlin Clark is
Caitlin Clark's a bigger star than anyone in baseball.
Were they both...
It was Juan Soto going back to New York.
Were they on the same time?
No, the Fever...
Caitlin Clark's a bigger star than Juan Soto. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah. What's that, Mike?
Sky Fever was 3:30, and then it was Sunday Night Baseball.
Both on ESPN?
Yes.
The Sky Fever got better ratings, huh?
Yes.
I thought they was on ESPN. I thought they was on
Dude,
ABC.
you know that the Fever,
I think it was ABC.
they sell out every road game.
I know. It's
Who?
crazy.
The Fever?
Yes, and they have to.
Yes.
And these teams have to find new venues to play.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I watched the second half of the Fever game last night. It was incredible.
It was great.
They lost, right?
Yeah, they lost, but it was incredible. They was down by 11, and Caitlin Clark turned up and hit them trays. And then Aaliyah Boston started balling, and they brought it. They came back. It was 89-89. Aaliyah Boston got fouled. She split the free throw. She was 5 for 5. She split the free throw, so it was 90-89. And then Ryan Howard went to the hole against Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey hooked her. They called the foul. She hit 2 free throws. Whap, whap, ball game.
So about the CBA.
Yeah.
I have tried my best to fully understand what teams can and can't do depending on where they are in the cap. It is the hardest thing I've ever tried to understand. It's like studying for the SATs and the ACTs and your college final exam all in one. The fact the NBA has made it so complicated and confusing has taken some of the fun out of being
true. That's bad.
A genuine fan, which I think is bad.
Yeah.
Overall, I think the CBA accomplishes what the NBA owners wanted it to accomplish. Parity and eliminating super teams. However, I think it punishes teams that have done things the right way that now can't keep their own homegrown talent together.
What is doing things the right way?
Well, use OKC
Drafting, developing,
use OKC for an example.
and re-signing them.
Yeah.
They drafted well. They've acquired a ton of picks.
Right.
The Cavs are the same thing, by the way. They
But the Cavs, as I just said, outside of Garland and Mobley, everybody they have is acquired pretty much.
Exactly, but it wasn't a free agent destination where 3 guys, LeBron and Wade and Bosh, just decided to all go together. OKC hasn't done any of the big trades yet.
Right.
They traded for they got SGA in the trade, didn't they?
I mean, yeah, but that was SGA's rookie year, and that was 7 years ago.
It was before he was a star.
Was that for Paul George?
It was Paul George, yeah. So they traded away a star and took on a young guy who then they developed into the MVP
much
he's about
better
to become on Wednesday. And SGA is better than Paul George ever was. So not only did they get 5 first-round picks in that deal, they got the best player in the long run, too. It makes it like – and Boston, for an example. Boston legitimately may have to trade Jaylen Brown this summer and break up the Brown-Tatum pairing, which has worked for 8 years now and has grown into this.
Why would they have to trade him?
Because they have new ownership. The new ownership says it's not going to stay in the luxury tax. If
Tatum's
out,
so they don't have to trade him.
No, they don't have to. I'm saying they
the
could.
owners are being cheap.
I said they could. I didn't say they had to.
I thought they were shredding Drew Holiday and Chris.
They have to get under the second apron because you can't go into next season where they currently are with Jason Tatum hurt, knowing you're not in a championship competing level to pay this $700 million luxury tax that they're currently slated to pay. So they're going to have to make roster changes. It has shortened the windows for teams to win at the highest levels because owners, and they can afford it, Bull, I know you're going to counter say they can afford it, may not want to pay, use Ty Jerome for an example. If Ty Jerome gets paid $11 million in salary, it's going to cost Dan Gilbert $63 million. So you start making that with bigger players. $40 million for Drew Holiday is
Right.
$160 million. Is Drew Holiday worth $160? I think the point of the CBA makes sense. I think there has to be changes in terms of when Evan Mobley wins DPOY. That extra accelerator in his contract that jumps him from 36 to 45 shouldn't count against the cap. And other ways to help teams keep their cores together
Right.
that have been organically put together without having to
Right.
break everything apart.
But that's the craziest part. That the Cavs are hurt by Evan Mobley winning Defensive Player of the Year. That it's a financial penalty to the Cavs for Evan Mobley being great on defense. That's crazy. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's dumb. But can you negotiate the CBA? I thought it was every 10 years. So like they gotta wait till this one expires to read it.
Right.
So it is what it is for the next whatever. When did this deal get signed?
I guess if both parties wanted to change it, they could. But that would have
An
to be
addendum?
the case. Yeah, right.
Has there ever been a CBA that hasn't lasted the length of its contract where they ripped it up midway?
No.
I don't know, but a lot of times in these CBAs in all sports, there'll be an opt-out sometimes if one side or both want. But if both sides didn't like it, I don't know. Are the players happy with this current CBA?
Well, for a guy like Ty Jerome, for example, right?
Yeah.
There are only 3 teams with cap space this summer.
Yeah.
Like 3 teams. Brooklyn, Detroit, Utah. That's it.
But why?
How many? No, well, my point is
Yeah.
when there are more teams with cap space because they're not forced to re-sign these guys and accelerators kicking and all that, a guy like Ty Jerome could have a legitimate bidding war with more teams. I don't think teams are going to be willing to give these guys as big of contracts knowing, hey, if we're not a second apron team, we're not going to go into the second apron. If we're not a first apron team
Right.
yet, does
Not for
Ty Jerome, and I'm using any of these players.
The CBA seems to penalize the mid-tier player.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why when we look at these contracts and trades, Bowl, when we were on the phone yesterday,
Yeah.
there's guys making a lot of money, there's guys making a little money. There's very few of those in-between contracts.
Yeah, where there used to be a lot of those guys.
Exactly.
And now like some of them are getting way overpaid.
Or way underpaid because there's not a market.
Right,
Which
or they're
could
out of
help
the
the
league.
Cavs.
Or we'll see veterans go out of the league for a rookie because you're like, well,
Yeah.
this guy, the veteran's not that much better. I might as well pay the rookie minimum salary than pay a veteran.
Mike, you remember when they did the lockout, right?
I do.
Why did they lock out? What was it that the players didn't want to agree on? Do you know?
No, lockout is when the owners
Oh, it was the owner.
shut it down.
I thought
Yeah.
it was an
Let me look it up.
agreement.
That's a strike.
It wasn't
when it's the players.
so it wasn't just because of a new CBA.
Yeah, it was.
So what was it about?
I don't remember the specifics of what they were looking for that the players were not willing to agree to. I don't
The lockout
remember.
in 21? Is that the one you're talking about, Ty?
Was that 21?
Was that?
Was it that recent? No,
I didn't realize it was that recent.
I thought it was.
So what was the reason for
Or
lockout in
there's the
21?
2011 one, too.
Maybe the
Talking about
2011.
NFL?
No, the NBA.
NBA?
Yeah.
Remember Brian and them was hooping and all like doing freaking. It's 2011. It was 2011. They was all LeBron, KD, and James Harden and all them was hooping in gyms and stuff. It was crazy.
I just did a quick Google search. Team owners wanted to implement a hard salary cap, meaning they couldn't exceed a set spending limit. Players favored a soft cap with more exceptions. And the main thing was how they split up the basketball-related income. How much the players got versus how much the team and owners got. That was the main one.
Okay, well, that's a good reason to lock
So
out.
I don't know. But if both sides wanted to renegotiate, it could be done. But that's not common that happens.
Do you guys, we have literally a 50-50 split on the poll right now in terms of whether people think this new CBA, it's not really new anymore, but the current CBA is good or bad. Do you like the parity? I know, Dustin, you said you do.
I do. Yeah.
I do too. I think parity's better.
I don't.
I think the only reason it's 50-50 is because fans, for the Cavs personally, it's not good right now. So I'm surprised
It would
it's
be
50-50.
great if the Cavaliers were in the conference finals.
Well, yeah, sure, that's true. But
That
now
would
that
make a
they
difference.
crap the bed and we're trying to make moves to the team.
But it's the fact
And we're gonna have-
it's the fact that they lost to a team that's also doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only person they traded for was Pascal, right?
That is, everyone else on their team's been
No, they
homegrown.
traded for what's his name? He used to be on the Knicks. Obi
Toppin.
Well, minimal. And they got Neesmith from the
He plays legit minutes for them. What are you talking about?
He's like their 8th guy, though. It's
Yeah.
not like he's a. And Neesmith they acquired from the Celtics when the Celtics dumped him off, but that
Yeah.
wasn't a big time acquisition.
Miles Turner's a free agent at the end of the year, I think.
No, I think he signed an extension, didn't he?
Oh, did he? I thought he was a free agent at the end of the year.
You was gonna pick him up?
I will tell you right now.
No,
He signed.
Cavs can't pick up anybody in free agency. They can make trades.
Oh, boy, you're right. He is a free. I thought it was 2 years.
Yeah,
but he is a
listen,
free
I
agent.
am the
next year.
NBA
Well,
authority. for a reason,
he
Mike.
earned himself some money this postseason.
He gonna get paid. Do you guys see the Thunder Timberwolves game last
I
night?
didn't see it. I know
It went
Thunder-
exactly
I did.
how I thought it was.
It was a great first half.
The Wolves were winning at halftime, right? Like by
Yeah,
10.
Julius Randle
They
was
should have. They were up.
scorching
They were
hot.
up like
He
4.
could.
Oh,
He
okay.
was
And then the
spraying
Thunder went
up.
on like an 18-0 run or something.
Yeah.
And
Middle-
then that was
middle
that.
of the third quarter.
They keep. They gonna get the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hands. They keep blitzing him and double teaming him.
Yeah.
You gotta.
All right, why don't we bring Bernie in?
Let's bring Bernie in, guys.